The human capacity for cruelty knows no bounds, transcending time and geography. History stands as a chilling testament to this grim reality, reminding us of the depths of human wrongdoing. From the dying fields of Cambodia to the ethnic cleansing in Rwanda, the echoes of suffering reverberate through the ages. The darkest chapters of our past are stained with unimaginable acts of violence, leaving scars that never fully heal. But perhaps no period in human history evokes such visceral horror as the Holocaust, a systematic campaign of extermination. The systematic extermination of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany during World War II remains a stark reminder of the fragility of civilization and the ease with which humanity can descend into barbarism. It begs the question, how could seemingly ordinary people commit such unspeakable acts, turning a blind eye to the suffering of their fellow humans? The answer, as we shall see, is complex and multifaceted, involving a web of social, psychological, and political factors. There is no single explanation that can fully encompass the horrors of the Holocaust, as it was a convergence of many dark forces. However, by examining the motivations and actions of those who perpetrated these crimes, we can begin to grapple with this unsettling question and seek to understand the depths of human cruelty. Only by confronting the darkest aspects of human nature and acknowledging our capacity for wrongdoing can we hope to prevent such atrocities from happening again, ensuring a more humane future for all. At the heart of the Brown Shirts regime's reign of fear stood the Schutzstaffel, or SS. This organization, shrouded in secrecy and fanaticism, was responsible for carrying out many of the regime's most terrible actions, including the Holocaust. The SS was more than just another military branch. It was an elite order, personally loyal to Adolf Hitler. From its inception, secrecy was paramount for the group. Hitler envisioned this group as his personal guard, a force unbound by traditional military constraints. He carefully selected recruits, favoring those from working-class backgrounds with a history of aggression. This ensured their unwavering loyalty and willingness to follow orders without question. The SS operated with a terrifying autonomy. Their actions were often hidden from even high-ranking Brown Shirts officials. This allowed them to carry out their harsh agenda with chilling efficiency. Understanding the motivations of the SS has been a central question for historians since the fall of the Third Reich. Early interpretations often portrayed these members as nothing more than mindless followers, blindly following orders. This simplistic view, however, fails to account for the complexity of human behavior, particularly in the face of such extreme circumstances. As more archival material became available, a more nuanced picture began to emerge. Historians began to recognize the diversity of motivations within the group. Some were driven by a strong belief in Brown Shirts ideology. Others were motivated by opportunism, seeking power and advancement within the ranks. Still others participated out of fear, pressured by their peers or worried about the consequences of disobedience. One of the most influential interpretations of the group came from philosopher Hannah Arendt. In her seminal work, Eichmann in Jerusalem, a report on the banality of evil, Arendt challenged the prevailing notion of groups' leaders as inherently monstrous. Her observations of Adolf Eichmann, a key architect of the Holocaust, led her to a chilling conclusion. Arendt found Eichmann to be startlingly ordinary. He was not a raving fanatic, but a bland bureaucrat. His actions, she argued, stemmed not from inherent cruelty, but from a profound lack of critical thinking and moral reflection. This concept, which she termed the banality of evil, sent shockwaves through the academic world. Could it be that some of the most horrific actions in human history were committed by individuals who were not fundamentally different from anyone else? Conformity and cruelty go hand in hand in the case of Reserve Police Battalion 101. Arendt's work paved the way for a new generation of historians to examine the Holocaust from a different perspective, challenging previous narratives and opening up new avenues of inquiry. Rather than focusing solely on the motivations of high-ranking officials, they began to investigate the role of ordinary Germans in the events. Shedding light on the broader societal involvement, one such historian, Christopher Browning, examined the case of Reserve Police Battalion 101 in his groundbreaking book, Ordinary Men. This unit, comprised largely of non-military volunteers, was responsible for the mass shootings of thousands of Jews in Poland, a grim testament to the capacity for ordinary individuals to commit horrific acts. Browning found that many of the men initially resisted the killings, struggling with their conscience and the moral weight of their actions. However, over time, they succumbed to the pressure to conform, influenced by the collective mindset and the fear of standing out. They did not want to appear weak or disloyal in front of their comrades, valuing group cohesion over individual morality. This fear, coupled with a gradual desensitization to violence, ultimately led them to participate in unspeakable acts of cruelty, illustrating the dark potential within ordinary people when placed under extreme circumstances. The stain of anti-Semitism remains Goldhagen's contention. While Browning's work highlighted the power of social pressure, other historians like Daniel Goldhagen argued that deeply ingrained anti-Semitism played a more central role in motivating the perpetrators of the Holocaust. In his controversial book, Hitler's Willing Executioners, Goldhagen argued that German society was saturated with a virulent strain of anti-Semitism that predated the brown shirts regime. This pervasive prejudice, he argued, created a climate in which the mass harm of Jews was not only conceivable, but deemed justifiable by many ordinary Germans. Goldhagen's work sparked intense debate, with some critics accusing him of oversimplifying a complex issue. However, his work served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and the role that prejudice can play in fueling mass violence. Echoes of atrocity lessons from Rwanda and beyond. The Holocaust, while a unique historical event, holds important lessons for understanding other instances of large-scale violence and harm. From the killing fields of Cambodia to the ethnic conflicts in Rwanda, similar patterns of hatred, prejudice, and indifference have fueled unimaginable acts of cruelty. In 1994, Rwanda was engulfed in a horrific conflict that claimed the lives of an estimated 800,000 people, mostly from the Tutsi minority. The speed and brutality of the events shocked the world. As in Brown Shirts Germany, ordinary people were turned into perpetrators, fueled by a toxic mix of propaganda, fear, and ancient hatreds. The urgency of awareness relies on recognizing the warning signs. The horrors of the Holocaust and other tragic events serve as a chilling reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present potential for human cruelty. It is our collective responsibility to learn from these tragedies and to be vigilant in recognizing the warning signs of such events. These signs can include increased hate speech and propaganda targeting a specific group with dehumanizing language and stereotypes, discrimination and persecution, stripping away rights and freedoms from a particular group, the arming of militias, creating paramilitary groups outside the control of the government, and the breakdown of law and order, creating an environment of impunity where violence is tolerated or encouraged. By being aware of these warning signs, we can sound the alarm and mobilize international pressure to prevent mass atrocities before they occur.
The power of one can begin to break the cycle of hate. The fight against injustice and unfair treatment begins with each of us. We must all be upstanders, not bystanders. Silence in the face of hatred is complicity. We must challenge prejudice and discrimination whenever and wherever we encounter it. Education plays a vital role in preventing future wrongdoings. By teaching future generations about the horrors of the Holocaust and other tragedies, we can ensure that these events are never forgotten and that the lessons learned are carried forward. We must also teach empathy and compassion, fostering a sense of shared humanity that transcends differences in race, religion, or ethnicity. A future free from fear is our collective responsibility. The human capacity for wrongdoing is undeniable, as history has shown us time and time again. But so too is our capacity for good, for compassion, and for making a positive difference in the world. It is within our power to create a world where such horrors are relegated to the history books. By remembering the victims, learning from the past, and educating future generations, and actively challenging hatred and prejudice in all its forms, we can build a future free from fear, a future where everyone feels safe and valued, The pursuit of justice and the defense of human dignity is a never-ending task that requires our unwavering dedication. It requires constant vigilance and a commitment to building a more just and compassionate world for all, regardless of race, religion, or background. Let us honor the memory of those who perished in the Holocaust and other genocides by dedicating ourselves to this noble pursuit, ensuring their stories are never forgotten. Let us strive to create a world where all people can live in peace and dignity, free from the threat of persecution and violence, and where human rights are upheld for everyone. Like and subscribe now. This video is inspired from the article by Big Think's Tim Brinkhoff titled Hitler's SS: How Ordinary People Become Sociopathic Nazis.